welcome to the new lecture of IGCSE Biology 0610 series. In this lecture, we will discuss sexual reproduction, which is the second topic of the reproduction chapter. It is the 16th chapter of the syllabus. The 16.1 topic, that is asexual reproduction, we have discussed it in the previous lecture. You can visit that from the channel link. So let's start our today's topic, sexual reproduction. So sexual reproduction, before starting, let's take a quick recap of what does it mean by the term reproduction. We have discussed it in previous lecture. Let's take a quick recap here. Reproduction, we can say, is the process by which an organism can produce similar or almost similar organisms. It is a process by which any living organism can produce its similar or almost similar organisms, or we can say offsprings. It can occur by two ways: asexual or sexual. That is asexual reproduction or sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction in plants is called vegetative propagation. We don't use the term asexual reproduction there. We use vegetative propagation. Asexual reproduction in detail we have discussed in the last lecture. So here we start from sexual reproduction and its features. So let's see what are the features of sexual reproduction. So first feature is it involves two parents. Second feature is it involves two gametes. Gametes are also called sex cells. Third feature is it involves fertilization, zygote formation. And fourth feature is genetically different offsprings. That is, the offsprings or new organisms that are produced through sexual reproduction are genetically different. Let's now discuss all these features one by one. So our first feature is it involves two parents. And which are these two parents? Male parent and female parent. Second feature is it involves two gametes. Now what do you understand by the term gamete? Gametes are the sex cells. These are haploid in nature and are produced by the process of meiosis. It is an important term. Please remember this. How they are produced? They are produced by the process of meiosis. Let's take a cell. Cell division occurs in this cell by the process of meiosis and it forms a gamete, and which is haploid in number. Haploid means it has half number of chromosomes. Let's suppose this cell has 46 chromosomes. Human cell has 46 chromosomes in it and it is called diploid. Now the gamete, which is haploid in nature, has half chromosomes from this parent cell. Half of 46, that is 23 chromosomes. It has only 23 chromosomes. It is indicated by 2n and it is indicated by n, half. 2n divided by 2 is equal to n. So the gamete is haploid in nature and it is produced by the process of meiosis. So every parent will form a gamete, that is, male parent will form a male gamete and female parent will form a female gamete. Male parent will form a male gamete and female parent will form female gamete. And what is the haploidy of these gametes? These are haploid in nature. This male gamete is haploid and the female gamete is also haploid. And how they are produced? They are produced by the process of meiosis. Meiosis. It's clear? Now the third feature is fertilization. So let's understand what you understand by the term fertilization. Let's take a male gamete and a female gamete which are formed by the process of meiosis. Male gamete and female gamete. These are the sex cells, as we all know. It is also the sex cell. So cell has some cell membrane, cytoplasm and nucleus. This cell also has cytoplasm, nucleus and cell membrane. When these two cells or gametes fuse, they will form a new cell which is called zygote. This zygote will develop to form new offspring or individual. Okay, and the fusion of this male and female gamete occurs by the process of fertilization, or we can say fertilization is the process of fusion of male and female gamete nuclei. Why we are writing nuclei here? Because the male gamete has different nuclei, female gamete has different nuclei. When the fusion occurs, the nuclei of both these cells fuse to form a completely new nuclei in the zygote. And this fusion of male and female gamete nuclei is called fertilization. Now, if you remember, we have discussed that male gamete is haploid and female gamete is also haploid. And haploid number in human is 23. So when this 23 and 23 fuse in zygote, 23 from male gamete and 23 from female gamete fuse, they will form 46 again, and 46 is the diploid number. So our zygote is diploid in nature. So it is the third feature, that it involves the fertilization process and the formation of zygote. Now, genetically different offspring. What does it mean? We have discussed that male gamete having male nuclei has some genes, it has some features, like suppose it has A features. Female gamete has female nuclei. and let's suppose it has B features. When the fusion occurs by the process of fertilization to form the zygote, the fusion of nuclei occurs, that is fusion of A plus B. A nuclei and B nuclei fuse to form A plus B, which has some entirely new features due to combination of A and B. So zygote is neither similar to A nor it is similar to B. It has some new features. So we can say the zygote or the offspring is genetically different from both the parents. So it is the fourth feature of sexual reproduction. First feature is it involves two parents. Second feature is it involves two gametes, that is male and female gametes. Male and female gametes formed by the process of meiosis. Then the male and female gametes fuse by the process of fertilization to form a zygote. And the zygote is the single cell which develops into an offspring, and the offspring is completely or genetically different from both the parents. So these are the four main features of sexual reproduction. Now, as we have seen here that the sexual reproduction involves the formation of sex cells or gametes, that's why it is called sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction does not involve formation of sex cells, so it is called asexual reproduction. Okay, so let's understand the definition of sexual reproduction, what you can write in the definition of sexual reproduction. It is a process that involves the fusion of two sex cells. And which are these two sex cells? Male and female gametes to form a zygote. And zygote is formed by the process of fertilization to produce an offspring that is genetically different from both the parents. So what is the definition of fertilization? We can write fertilization is the fusion of nuclei of male and female gamete. Next is examples of sexual reproduction. Now let's see some examples of sexual reproduction in flowering plants and animals, basically in human beings. In flowering plants, male gamete is pollen grain. That is, what is the name of the male gamete? Or what is the male gamete of flowering plant is called? It is called pollen grain or pollen nucleus. Female gamete of flowering plants is called egg cell. And next is male gamete is microscopic and mobile. Now the male gamete is always small from the female gamete and it is mobile. It can move from male sex organ to female sex organ. It is essential for the process of fertilization. Male gamete is microscopic and mobile, while female gamete is large and non-motile. That is, male gamete is small, female gamete is large, male gamete is mobile and it moves by any means to female gamete for the process of fertilization. It is a thumb rule that male gamete is always small plus mobile and female gamete is always larger and non-motile. In case of human beings, male gamete is called sperm and it shows motility, that is, it is mobile, while female gamete is called ovum. It is a large egg cell and it is non-motile. Male gamete is microscopic and mobile. This we have discussed. Female gamete is larger than male gamete and non-motile. Motility of the male gamete is essential for the process of fertilization. If the male gamete is also non-motile, then how will the fertilization occur? So, the female gamete, so it is essential for fertilization. Male gamete by any means, by swimming or by through water or by wind, flows towards the female gamete for the process of fertilization or for the process of fusion. So it is essential for the fertilization or sexual reproduction. So it is a feature of male and female gametes. Now let's take a look. This is the pollen grain, that is the male gamete of flowering plants. And this is the this is the egg cell or female gamete of plants, that is flowering plants. Now this is a sperm. It is the male gamete of human beings. And this is egg or ovum. More specifically, we called it ovum. That is the female gamete of human beings. And this flagella is responsible for motility. And in case of angiosperms or flowering plants, pollen grains reach to female gamete by wind, water. We will discuss it in later lectures. Okay. So these are the examples of male and female gametes in plants and animals. Now let's understand what is the difference between sexual and asexual reproduction. These are the main features that differentiates asexual reproduction from sexual reproduction. So asexual reproduction, it involves one parent, while sexual reproduction involves two parents, male and female. Asexual reproduction does not involve the formation of gametes, while in sexual reproduction, male and female gametes, or we can say sex cells, form. Now, in asexual reproduction, no fertilization occurs because these don't have gametes or sex cells, so no fertilization occurs. While in sexual reproduction, fertilization of male and female gametes occur. Now, when the sex cells are absent and fertilization is also absent in asexual reproduction, the offsprings are genetically identical to parent. While in sexual reproduction, offspring is genetically different from both the parents. Third, no zygote form in asexual reproduction because there is no fertilization, while in sexual reproduction, zygote form by the process of fertilization. Next, and the last is no meiosis occurs in asexual reproduction because there is no formation of gametes. While In sexual reproduction, gametes form by the process of meiosis. Mitosis occurs. It is another important term. Another important term, mitosis. It is cell division process. You have to remember this. We will discuss it in detail in other chapters. Then what do you understand by the term meiosis and mitosis? So this is the main differentiating features of asexual and sexual reproduction. That's all for today. In the next lecture, we will take another topic, that is sexual reproduction in plants. Thank you. Keep learning, keep practicing.